Allen Iverson, and Mark Price has really gotten into it. After a basket a moment ago, Mark Price will leave the hand out there for a moment.
Revenge.
You know he fucked up.
No matter how minuscule it might have been, if Allen Iverson felt you did him wrong, he was going to get even one way or the other. His stature may have been small, but his toughness was
Iverson and Dennis Rodman got into it? I didn't even know that.
In any way, he would straight up bury you. So stick around if you're interested in hearing about
Allen
5
Iverson turned
times
into
Allen Iverson sought revenge.
This
Enjoy
nigga
the
turned
video.
into a fucking villain just now.
One of the worst feelings you could have on the court is when you think you're totally unguardable, but then someone comes along and humbles you real quick. One of the worst feelings you could have on the court is when you think you're totally unguardable, but then someone comes along and humbles you real quick. That's exactly what happened to Allen Iverson during a matchup between Philly and Miami. It was November 17th, 1999. Dan Marley, who was a member of the Heat at this point, was completely smothering Iverson right from the jump, frustrating him all night long, which was something Marley definitely had a knack for doing to players. But in the year 2000, he was starting to get up there in age, so that had to have been a massive hit to Iverson's ego. And on top of that, Marley gets himself an and one that put the final nail in the coffin, as Miami defeated the Sixers, snapping their 3-game win streak. And Dan Marley was immediately praised about his excellent defense on AI after the game.
Dan, didn't know about everybody thought I was gonna come and stick him. I wanted to come and stick him, and but coach said no, we're gonna put Dan on him, bigger, stronger, not faster, but just bigger, stronger, and Dan did a good job.
He did his shit.
Now, fast forward just a few months later,
AI
it was in
clap
Philadelphia once again. It might have took place on the same stage, but what transpired was a completely different story.
Snow finds Iverson, 4-3.
Not a big percentage shooter out there, Allen Iverson.
Iverson for the win. Kaboom.
I never liked the Miami pronouncer for some reason. I don't know what it is. Like some days I do, some days I don't.
Iverson knew exactly what to expect this time and came prepared with his bag of tricks.
Get that over 2 niggas.
He trailed by 14.
Oh, come here.
Oh, brother, what a shake and bake move that was. Nash with a foul. He had Dan Marley going in all sorts of directions there.
You could tell Marley was demoralized by the end of the night, as Iverson was not going to give him the satisfaction of shutting him down this time. As soon as Tyronn Lue shows up in an Allen Iverson video, you automatically know the humiliating play that is about to be shown. But once you hear about the kind of things that led up to that moment, you're gonna think he 100%
I didn't know that.
deserved
I didn't know
it.
that.
Leading up to the 2001 NBA Finals, no one thought that the Sixers had a chance to beat the Lakers. But in Game 1, Allen Iverson believed otherwise. He scored an amazing 30 points in the first half alone, and was out to prove everyone wrong. But in the second half, he suddenly went cold, and Ty Lue looked to be the reason why.
They go up to 9, maybe 3 with a 10 to 3. Oh, steal! That was telegraphed, and Tyronn Lue was right on it. But get back, he did. Gets a big steal in the layup. Here's another. Tyronn Lue with his second consecutive steal.
Now, playing good
his
defense was obviously part of his job description, but being cocky was not. If you look closely, you can see Tyronn Lue holding up 2 fingers, which doesn't take a genius to know what he meant by that. And the commentators were praising him every chance they got.
Originally a first-round pick of the Denver Nuggets. Here's Lue shooting. Yes!
The broadcast certainly made it known the kind of impact Lue was having on the game. This graphic shows that Allen Iverson scored 38 points in the first 29 minutes, but only 3 points in the 15 minutes after that. Well, the next one that popped up on the screen seems to explain why in fine print. The Lakers outscored the Sixers 32-19 since Lue entered the game. Tyronn Lue was limiting Iverson and was definitely having his shining moment.
Iverson will be dreaming about Tyronn Lue tonight.
Well, that may be true, but Ty Lue will be dreaming about Iverson for the rest of his life after this.
Yeah.
Iverson.
He like, as soon as I got the ball, I'm not passing it.
Iverson. How about that? That steps over.
That step over, like I always say anytime I see this, that's a tech, a fine, and all type of shit in today's game, bro. Sad, isn't it? But yeah, it was built up, like, because Ty Lue was playing good defense. Allen Iverson today would say he don't know why he did that. Like, he's matured, or, you know, I like it, but I don't like it at the same time. Like, nah, stand on that shit. You stood over his ass. But AI said he was grabbing him and shit like that. You know, he wasn't gonna, like, this nigga was grabbing me the whole time, bro. Like, come on. But you saw what happened when he finally didn't grab me and I got it in isolation in the corner. Let's watch that masterpiece again.
But Ty Lue will be dreaming about Iverson for the rest of his life after this.
Iverson. Bothered by Lue. Iverson. How about that? That steps over Tyronn Lue.
That display of arrogance was probably a bad idea. I think it's safe to say who ultimately got the last laugh.
Everyone expected that to happen.
I mean, Tyronn Lue ended up winning the series, but
because of the defense from Tyronn Lue, how did you get it back?
It was holding me the whole time. We were battling basically every time we played against each other. You know, he always took a challenge when it came to me.
No, seriously, he wasn't kidding. That was definitely not the only time they clashed. In fact, the fans didn't have to wait very long after that finals. Literally just the next season, Tyronn Lue was now a Washington Wizard. And it looks like their trash talk picked up exactly where they left off.
Neither one of them are resting their mouth there.
I guess Lue did not learn his lesson from what happened just 5 months prior, as he would end up on the ground once again.
Played much in the last few.
Obviously not as famous as the step over, but man, honestly, probably just as bad if you ask me. This is literally the epitome of instant revenge. As you can see, Anthony
I remember
Carter
this.
of the
I saw
Miami
this.
Heat smacked Iverson right in the face. Here's a close-up. Then, just like you would see in the movies from An Unstoppable Force, Iverson smiles back at Carter right before draining a 3 in his face, then proceeds to yell, "He can't guard me," on his way back down the court. That had to have been pretty satisfying. We always hear stories about when players get starstruck when they meet Allen Iverson. Well, when Iverson first met his idol, it didn't quite go down like he envisioned it would. Okay, they did face off a couple times during Iverson's rookie year, but never actually spoke to each other on the court. It wasn't until the 1997 All-Star break where they finally acknowledged one another. It was said that when they had an encounter in the hallway, Jordan greeted Iverson by saying this, "What's up, you little bitch?" Now, Iverson was definitely shocked, but just kept it moving.
The first time I ever talked to him was that year playing in the rookie game. I'll never forget it because he said, "What's up, you little bitch?" I'll never forget it.
Who knows what Jordan's intentions were? He may have been trying to intimidate him for all we know. Regardless, Allen Iverson kept a mental note of what he said and saved his response to that question for their very next matchup.
I thought it was after
on March
this.
12th, 1997. For this very moment, MJ was no longer his hero. After what he called Iverson during the All-Star break,
nah, he been saying he could take Mike one-on-one. He been said that like when he was a little kid. It's documented.
Was now the enemy.
Iverson has Jordan. The crowd is into it. Allen shakes free. Gets
frying that nigga, bro.
Mike said no.
Cooking that nigga,
break.
bro.
He was now the enemy.
Iverson has Jordan.
Come here.
The crowd is into
Come here.
Allen shakes free. Gets two. Mike said no. Allen said yes.
Now that's how you answer a question. It
Come
took
here.
him some time, a month
here.
to be exact, but sometimes it takes a while to execute the ultimate revenge.
Like I remember I went to a Charlotte game. I live in Charlotte. Man was in the back and we was talking, and I was telling him how much I loved him and admired him, and telling him how much he was my hero. And he was like, "Well, I couldn't have been too much of a hero to you if you crossed me like that." So.
Those were just 5 times AI sought revenge. There are plenty more stories I could have talked about, but those were my favorite. Feel free to comment down below what your favorite all-time Allen Iverson moment is. And of course, you're more than welcome to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Good video, man. Good video.